Hey, everyone. I'm Tony George. He's Griffin Murphy. DocSports.com. Damn, we're a couple of good-looking sons of bitches. I'll tell you this, just looking at it right now. Just the best-looking handicappers on the internet who gave you, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, because you will, 6-0 last week on the show. Much needed. Needed. We kind of been hitting and missing, fitty all year, so we're looking forward to another stellar week for you this week in college football. Last week, my NFL went unbeaten, and also last week, my college didn't win a game. I went 0-3 on Saturday, which is rare off back-to-back weeks. So we like to be transparent. We tell you like it is. I know Griff had a rough weekend with the Top Play Arena last week. Mm-hmm. Guess what? You can judge us on the free plays, but you're going to catch me in rebound mode and Griff in rebound mode this week. My NFL's been stellar. We're going to talk about that as the show goes along, and we're going to tell you how you can get a not only the free $60 right there, that link, in any new account. It comes with a profit guarantee from Doc Sports, but we'll tell you how you can get 10% off. Griff and I this weekend, we have a different promo code every week, and we got a special one for you this week. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but let's get to the action in college football. The Missouri Tigers, I'm well attuned to these guys because I'm surrounded in Kansas City by Missouri Tiger fans. There's a few Jayhawk fans, but they've been pretty silent this year. They're not. They wait till basketball season to come out of the woodwork here, and then they're a big pain in the ass there. But right now, a couple of 6-1 teams, the Missouri Tigers, fresh off an overtime win against Auburn last week, take to the road for the second week in a row down to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt, who got a big win last week against LSU. A couple of really good quarterbacks going out of here. Diego Pavia is unbelievable, Griff. It's interesting. They have two common opponents here.
Yep.
Both these teams have one loss. They're 6-1, and they both lost to Alabama. Missouri by 3 and Vandy by 16. Now, Missouri was at home, and Vandy was down in Tuscaloosa. They also both played South Carolina. 29-20 win for Missouri and a 31-7 win for Vandy. And I did go to the South Carolina-Missouri game, as you know, Griff, with a buddy of mine. Vandy opened up at 3, now down to 2.5, total 52.5. This is going to be one you want to watch for sure, Griffin.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. I mean, this is kind of very similar to last week. And if you guys were on my football package last week, you know I was on LSU against Vandy. Very similar situation here. Vandy laying 2.5, so they're basically giving you another pick'em situation. But somebody that I want to talk about, and that is Pavia at the quarterback spot for Vanderbilt. This kid is one of the hardest gamers I have ever seen at the quarterback position. He reminded me of so many guys. He gave me a Johnny Manziel type of feel. He gave me a Baker Mayfield type of feel. This kid is an absolute plugger. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's a beast. He's very hard to tackle. He throws rifles, and not only rifles, he throws dimes. I couldn't say more good things about this guy, but come on, last Saturday, I couldn't say more bad things about this guy. I mean, he ripped me apart. He is so fast in the backfield. He's got all the star power around him. That offensive line for Vanderbilt is absolutely stack loaded. Great run game with Alexander in the backfield. And somebody who doesn't get enough credit and needs to, that is Clark Lee, their head coach. This guy has completely turned this program around. And now this Vanderbilt team, they're no longer a joke. They have had a legitimate schedule, and they have rolled over everybody and prevailed. And then you've got a Missouri team. They come into this game 10th in the nation when it comes to total yards of offense, 7th in the nation when it comes to the ground game. That comes at the quarterback spot, and that's with Prbula. This kid is a dual threat quarterback. Reminds me very much so, just like Pavia with Vanderbilt. These two guys are going to stretch the field. They're fast. They have great arms. I believe this game is going to be a shootout. But looking at this matchup right now, so for Vanderbilt, last week they played LSU. That is a completely different offense. Nussmeier, he's not a dual threat quarterback. And when you have somebody who's fast on their feet, that's what stretches out defenses, and that's what controls offenses and keeps defenses on their toes and guessing. Nussmeier, not so much whatsoever. He sits in the pocket and just throws rifles. So in a game like this, I believe Perbula is going to be able to stretch this Vanderbilt defense out, as well as I believe Pavia is going to be able to stretch out this Missouri defense. So looking at this total, it's posted high at 52.5. I believe it should be. I believe the market has this right. I believe it's baited. Give me the over 52.5 points in this matchup, Tony. I believe we're going to see a shootout. If I had to lean aside here, I'd lean Vandy on the money line, shave the points. I would not go with Missouri in this one. But give me the over as my play in this selection, over 52.5. But let's shift gears here because this is an interesting matchup. We've got Northwestern rolling into Nebraska to play your Cornhuskers. Nebraska lane 7, total sitting at 43.5. I will say this line has been jumping from 7 to 8.5. So we're already getting betting action early in this one. Northwestern, they continue to win it. They're 4 straight winners, including a win over Penn State during this winning streak. Nebraska, they're coming off an upset loss to Minnesota in their most recent matchup. Laid 6.5 points in that game. And the problem was they got dominated on the rush game. Nebraska had 36 yards on the ground. Tony, does Nebraska turn it around this week, and how do they do so?
When are we going to stop laying touchdowns with Nebraska and Texas on the road? Texas is laying 7 on the road this week. Nebraska's laying a touchdown again. It's down to 6.5 in some spots now, as it should be. Nebraska's got no business laying a touchdown when you're that soft up front on both sides of the ball. Michigan ran the ball for 248 yards against Nebraska, and there was no trickery at all. They just kept running it in the A gap, and they said, screw you. We're going to telegraph the play. We dare you to stop us. They were falling forward for 8 or 10 yards a carry. I know because I was there and witnessed it. Nebraska's soft up front. They can't stop the run. Oh, that's right. They're number 45 in the country, Northwestern is, at running the football at 183 yards a game. And you saw how Minnesota stuffed it up Nebraska's ass last week on the line. Northwestern is also ranked number 22 in rush defense in the country. These two notoriously play tight games they have over the years. Northwestern just shut out Purdue. They beat Penn State. They beat UCLA, who's been beating everybody. And if you didn't watch, I lost a game 3 weeks ago. I took Oregon minus 22-ish in that game against Northwestern. Northwestern gave Oregon a ball game basically for 3 quarters and covered that number. No, Nebraska shouldn't be laying anything. And Matt Rule's got to get his head out of his ass and forget about the Penn State job, because if you were in the running for the Penn State job, you were a no-show. Your team was a no-show against an average at best Minnesota team. But P.J. Fleck does have Nebraska's number in the 6 years he's been at Minnesota. He's 6-0 against Nebraska. I think he's 5-1 against the spread. So give me Northwestern plus the 7 here. Folks, let's talk about it. Right there, the discount code in honor of my favorite windage from Kentucky. And I did call down to the distillery today, Griff, down by Frankfort, Kentucky, where I've been to. Yeah. They got plenty of this in stock. So if you run out, get to the store and buy some. But from us, the Jimmy B code right there. Jimmy B10 is your promo code. 10% off Griffin or my football packages. Weekend package, daily package, monthly or yearly, 10% off. There's a promo code box when you pull up the package. Just type in Jimmy B. That's right.
Jimmy B, baby. Keep it rolling.
This is the best. This is the best liquid that's been sitting around 4 years that you could consume. Now, I drink a lot of the Black Label, which is a couple years older. And then we get into the Booker Bean, Basil Hayden, if you want to go real deep, because that's really my drink of choice, but in honor of that guy right there, Jimmy B10.
Live and die by it, baby. Live and die by it.
Whenever Griff comes to Kansas City, I make him drink it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Nonetheless, Jimmy B, 10% off. And then you can throw that $60 you get if you're a new member, right up there. Right up there. You can add that to it too. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get a 10% off a week package. They're like, what, the $90? You get $60 off there, another $9 off with the Jimmy B10. Get hooked up. Let's go. All right. Houston travels to Arizona State. Arizona State last week got the convenience of playing Texas Tech, whose quarterback Morgan didn't play. I was on Texas Tech in that game. They said he was going to play during the week, game time decision, but he was participating in practice. They decided not to play him. It cost them big time because I still think Texas Tech's one of the better teams in the country when they're fully healthy. This opened up at 8, down to 7.5 this morning. These are Wednesday lines, by the way, folks. We're taping this Wednesday before lunch, before happy hour. But nonetheless, we have ourselves a ball game here. Houston, one loss to Texas Tech, Griff, and a blowout loss. Total in this thing is 47.5. And I think it might be, I mean, basically, if you look at Houston, the one good team they played was Texas Tech, and they lost by 24. Are they a facade? And is Arizona State coming on? I don't know. That's why I gave the game to you.
Yeah, Tony. I mean, I will say Houston, they've been very impressive this season, despite their schedule. Under Willie Fritz, they're doing a hell of a job, I will say. Coming off a win last week against Arizona, that is huge for them, but it also causes mass speculation. Everybody gets hung up on the name Arizona, and they overlook ASU, and ASU is really a very talented football team. So I look at this, we have two teams that are going at it, and on paper, they're both powerhouse defenses. I believe that metric to be strong. These teams do both have poised defenses, very strong on the defensive interior, and they have very disciplined linebackers on both sides of the field, I must say. So looking at this right now, I believe this is going to be a very tight competitive matchup, but there's traps all over the place. People are looking at this Arizona situation as a higher caliber team than ASU. When Houston last week, they beat Arizona outright, as I mentioned. I'm laying the points here with ASU. I believe they're the better team. I believe the public's going to get caught on the speculation play, considering Houston winning last week over Arizona. Now coming into a situation like this, you've got the Sun Devils at home. This line has been shifting. There is public money already being bet on it from 8 to 7.5. I believe that's right. And I believe the way that this thing is being bet, people are pushing that number down from 8 to 7.5. They're taking Houston. I believe that's a public trap incentive as well, which goes down with what I just preached. So in this matchup, Tony, I believe we're doing a reverse flip trap here. Give me the Arizona State Sun Devils here, and I'm laying the 7.5 points as I'm calling a bust here with this Houston team. As again, going back to that strength of schedule, I have not been impressed. I believe this is going to be the biggest implication game for them, and I don't think they're going to be able to prevail. Give me the Sun Devils here and lay the wood in this one, Tony. But let's shift gears here and let's get into the NFL. We've got Dallas rolling into Denver. Denver laying 3 points. We've got a total sitting at 49.5, which is slightly high. Dallas, they're hanging numbers up, though, against everybody. Pouring it on Washington last week. This offense is really rolling right now, but now they're going up against who's supposed to be one of the best defenses in all of football, which is the Denver Broncos. And this game is at Denver. Bo Nix coming from a massive behind win over the Giants in their most recent matchup. Tony, what is your take in this one? There's a lot of X factors, a lot of question marks, and I don't know what Dallas's defense is going to be able to do against this Denver defense here, or offense in this one, Tony.
I don't know either, but I'm taking Dallas. It was at 3.5. Now it's at 3. Dallas last 4 weeks, 40 points, 37, 27, 44. Yeah. Now, Denver. Yeah, I got a buddy. You know him out in Vegas, my buddy Danny.
Yeah.
You know Danny.
Oh, yeah.
Danny and Paul, nonetheless, big Denver guy, bragging about how his team came back last week on the text, just giving me a ration. Blah, 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 blah. We're coming for the division. Look out. Settle down there, big boy. You beat the likes of Cincinnati, Tennessee. You were down 19-0 in the Giants going into the fourth quarter. You managed to beat the Jets by 2 points on a last-second play. You ain't ready for prime time, and I don't give a rat's ass how bad Dallas's defense is. This is going to be a shootout. The over 49.5 looks a little tasty to me. Now, if you do teasers on totals, I tease that down to 43.5 and take the over with another game somewhere. You know what I'm saying? If you want to tease totals, which I don't put total teasers out of my premium card, but I do bet them personally, and I've been doing well with them. But I will take Dallas here. I think that Denver hasn't proven themselves against a high-quality opponent yet. They haven't.
Agreed.
Yeah, maybe the Philadelphia game, okay. But, beating up – look at the other teams they beat. I'm telling you, didn't beat anybody. And that was embarrassing last week. And that's not a testament to their offense coming back. That's a testament to how bad the Giants suck and how bad their coaching sucks. FYI. Speaking of sucking, man, Tennessee Titans and the Miami Dolphins are having a race to see who sucks worse.
Yep.
Now, Tennessee did one good thing in the last 2 weeks, and that's fire their head coach. Okay? And usually you want to take a team and a bounce back after firing a coach. It didn't work out for them. They started out like a lion and finished like a lamb last week against the Patriots team where Vrabel wanted to exact some revenge against the team that fired him. I get that. But Miami looked like a high school JV team at a friggin' soap scrimmage last week. Tua can't throw a spiral. Their defense sucks. They're at Atlanta. Griffin, here's the thing. Miami is number 1 in the NFL at giving up receiving yards to running backs. And they're number 1, that means worst, dead last.
Yeah.
In allowing rushing yards. By the way, hello, Mr. Robinson. Welcome to Atlanta, Miami. 7.5 points. May go up to 8. Total still sitting at 45, Griff.
Tony, I mean, you said it all, man. This Miami team, Tua not being able to throw a spiral, absolutely ridiculous. McDaniels, I don't know how he still has his job there.
I don't know either.
It's time for him to go, and I believe this is going to be the game where he's on the hot spot. He's been on it all season long. I believe this is the game where Miami finally moves forward and moves on from Mike McDaniels, because rolling into this matchup, I'm very high on Atlanta. Despite them playing 500 football this season, You've got Michael Penix as your quarterback. This kid is only developing and getting better, ascending to the upside. And then you've got Bijan Robinson in the backfield, as you mentioned, Tony. This is probably the best running back in all of NFL. Yeah. Not only on the ground, but this guy's a receiving back. On that split screen, he is absolutely untouchable. His burst, his speed to the outside, very, very tough to tackle. Miami, one of the worst defenses in all of football, if not the worst. Worst team in all of football, if not the worst. Their offense can't get it together. Hill goes down. The team just losing leg by leg, arm by arm. All they've got is their prime receiver, Waddle. I don't see any answers for this Miami Dolphins team right now. Terrible head coach, terrible quarterback, terrible offensive line, terrible defensive line. And then you've got an Atlanta team in this matchup at home, poised, got Penix, looking for a breakout game in this matchup, break that 500 cylinder, get back in the win column for the season. I think everything is on Atlanta in this situation. And Tony, give me the Atlanta Falcons here, and I'm laying the 7.5 points. I believe they win this game by at least 2 touchdowns in this one. Shouldn't even be a ball game. But let's get to the final segment of this show, Tony, and that is the teaser. And we've got Atlanta and Buffalo. Hit me.
Yep. By the way, don't forget, right there, folks.
Jimmy.
Promo code. Hit it with me, Lenny. Lenny behind the scenes. Lenny's probably back chugging some of this right now at his own house.
Jimmy third base coach swinging.
Jimmy B, in honor of my favorite cocktail, Jimmy B10's the promo code, 10% off any football package from myself or Griffin, starting when you watch this video through Monday. Mm-hmm. So be sure and jump on board. For the reasons you said, Atlanta teased down to 1.5, absolute gift. You think Miami's going to play hard for this coach? Quentin Ewers came off the field, who was in the game for him last week. Said something to McDaniel, had a question. McDaniel blew him off. Didn't even acknowledge he was standing there because he's so pissed off. Yeah. Dirty Birds, tease down to -1.5. Yeah. Let's do that. Second half of the teaser. How about the Buffalo Bills off a bye week? Now, Carolina, I'm not getting involved with Buffalo with that defense of theirs, laying 7.5 on the road against a team that's unbeaten at home. And you say, well, Bryce Young's out this week. Well, is it really that big of a downgrade to go to Andy Dalton with 17 years of experience in the NFL and still got an arm? Really? That doesn't take a lot of chances? Not really. I'm not laying 7.5, but I'll lay less than 2. Give me the Buffalo Bills and the Dirty Birds from Atlanta. I don't see a path where Miami could cover the game straight up.
No.
I don't see it.
There's no talent.
I do see a path where Carolina can. So we're teasing through, and those are key numbers, folks. Here's your sports betting 101 lesson real quick. You're teasing through 3 numbers: 7, 6, and 3. Value teaser, folks. That's the show today. Now, this weekend, I'll have a 3-pack in college football, maybe a Friday night game, and of course, we'll have a top pick there. I have a 6-unit play. Now, it's going to be low volume. I'm going to get back in your good graces. I'm going to continue to beat the book's ass in the NFL. And by the way, just so you know, if the line doesn't move a whole hell of a lot, it will be an NFL game of the year on Sunday. But it's Wednesday.
You text me.
a half a point to a point, even though the line's weak, is still a key issue in the NFL. So we got to see how it holds out. Picks will be out Thursday. Griff?
Yeah, Tony, I'm hungry. Everybody knows I dropped my game of the year on Sunday with the Tennessee Titans. I had a lot of reasons that I took them. And if you guys were on my actual package, you saw why I took them. I had a lot of variables, speculation, algorithm, eye test, everything went coincide. But we need to bounce back from that. I've been doing my homework. I'm hungry. I'm digging. I've got 2 plays on college football Saturday, including a 7-unit best bet, as long as that number doesn't shift, as well as we're going to bring the volume back down on Sunday. We're going to reaccumulate our losses from last week, which was our first losing weekend we've had in about 6 weeks. Currently 23-12 in the football season for $4,000 in profit. I will have 2 plays on Sunday. My 5-unit best bet will kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and that will roll into the 325 games, which I will have a 2-unit selection as long as the line stays stagnant. Hungry, looking to bounce back, feel very confident about this weekend, Tony, so let's get it rolling.
DocSports.com. Be there or be square. That's where you need to be. Enjoy that Jimmy B10 discount code. I'll be enjoying some of that, hitting some big plays for you this weekend. Thanks for tuning in.